Good evening, dear viewer. Welcome to tonight's edition of Millennium Tonight program. It's a happy Women's Day to all our women in the country right now. Thank you so much for joining us on your Topstar decoder channel 95 and this Millennium TV Zambia on our national carrier Topstar channel 95. You know, as per tradition, every Friday we host the Leadership Movement Party, and tonight joining me in studio is Leadership Movement Lusaka Mobilization Chairperson, Mr. Edward Kashinga. Though Edward, I wish that we had a woman on set, but welcome to the program. Good evening.
Good evening, madam, and good evening to our viewers out there.
How are you doing this evening?
Hello, we are doing fine, as we are also helping you to celebrate this important day, Women's Day today. Happy Women's Day. Thank
you so much. Obviously, like, as you know, today is Women's Day, and the theme for this year is Invest in Women and Girls, Accelerating Progress. How are you as Leadership Movement interpreting this theme before we get into our other topic of discussion this evening?
If we as Leadership Movement, we see it important kuliba ama women's besu out there. Because ubushiku bwaliwo obushiku bukankala nshi kuliba kuma women's besu kuliba na mayo bonse because ubushiku bali kwate ensambu pamonge firelanda theme ya this year ya women's nawo kwate wa women's ensambu shonse shakutira bengalanda okuchita contribute kuli kino kyalo kubuyantanshi bwa kino kyalo ukwabula okuba kita anidress ili obalesefya ububushiku bwawamishanga efi nefwe bashitata we are very much proud of ububushiku bantu nakuchirisha tufire twaafirishako bana mayo besu bonse kyalo kyonse ili obalesefya ububushiku twabafako n'enkito panganderero most of us nifo butwakira ipika nokwipika no kupyanga ko munganda mkwai azi bashitata
Edward language just saying this because it's TV.
I know it's real.
Okay.
Yes. So it's very much important. Kuba leo mfabonse ba women's besu bana mayo kutira ububushiku bwa chindamanga nshi ubulesefya obutulesefya nabana mayo okupitira kyapamo okubafuirisha okusefya obubushiku ikyalo kyonse so obushiku bwakindamisha ebo tufire twakwata okubakoseresha n'okutira ngebo tulemona bakiri bale ekita participate bana mayo kyalo kyonse mukusefya obubushiku mukwaye so bana mayo bafuire kubakwata ensambu eriyo n'okulingana ng'omutofe olera ndana kukirisha we need to invest muri bana mayo. When we invest muri bana mayo ifwe nga babemba tutira nga mwasambirisha nangu mwana kashi nishi mwakwata ubutala bwino nishi mwakwata okusekeramo because bana mayo nakuchirisha ebasunga ekyalo ebamayo efwe kusambiri mwasambirisha omwana kashi na mayo asambirira ikala bwino nishi kyalo kyapusuka. So tufire twatungirira bana mayo twatungirira n'obubushiku ilo balesefya obubushiku because ubushiku bwakindama sana tufire twakwata omukinshi bashitata bonse kuli bana mayo nokubatungirira okusefya obubushiku natotera mukwa
pamonga ba Leadership Movement nishira nshimule taking shakshita ensure that bana mayo at least bali kunta nshi beat in leadership positions muchipani chenu cha Leadership Movement.
If our Leadership Movement were given leadership movement yeka pano tulelanda ngechalo we have to ensure that it's 50-50 ilio ubuteko na ngechalo tulepela na ma opportunities it's 50-50 kuli bana mayo tufire twamona neryo tuleya kuntanshi tekulalanda fe talk after talk tufire tulelanda ifile ekitika neryo tuleya kuntanshi ukutufire twamona okutira bana mayo bambo kuchita participate fully nga bashitate fe bale chita participate mu activities aya charo muri leadership iyo tuli iya government bana mayo na bena bakwatamo ulubali bakwata mu ulubali ngevyo bashitata ifu tuletolo ulubali mukuchita participate mu buyandanshibwa chalo. That's what we are saying as a leadership movement. Even tufile twamona nero tule chitafe tule salange ntungulu shisha chalo beat ama councillors ama MPs ama council chairperson tufile tule mono kuti bana mayo na bena bale chita participate. It's equal opportunity kuli bana mayo na bashitata. Kumono kutila we have given respect na no kuchita implement ifyo ububushikubule pilibula na bana mayo because echo tuletirira bana mayo bafuire twachita invest muri bana mayo and ama girls because we need them to participate even in the future. They are our future leaders. Even as at now they need to participate mubu yandanjo bwa chalo chino.
All right. Mr. Kashinga, for the sake of our viewers who are joining us for the first time, just run us through your party agenda or manifesto as the leadership movement.
Okay. As for leadership movement, our manifesto, our agenda, pamunge chalo, edio nomba tuwabwerera kuri topic yesu mwali umfa bonse bakomfa wensoro tulando kutira leadership movement ya iminina pa chakulya edio nempanga production ya iminina pa chakulya nempanga because if into fibirifi they are the most critical, they are the most important thing pakutile chalo chesu chinga pantanji umuntu afuile alya umuntu afuile na kwata impanga ero tuinga mono kutila twala kwata obuyandanshi muri kino chalo na kuchirisha ifanga ba leadership movement iro tuisa pafirimba pama TV ngefi tuleta ama ideas, tuleta ama solutions even kuli government of the day iro tuisa pa tuchita discuss manifesto ya leadership movement. Tatuchita fe discuss i manifesto ya leadership movement ngoku chita criticize ubuteko lelo tulefu aba leadership nangu tulanda pakutila ifanga ba leadership tulepela ama checks and balances even kuli government of the day so that ngabale umfwa na wobene ba government tubasenda mu tubiri nangu tutatu pantu manifesto yesu ya iminina pampanga ero ya iminina na pacha akulya ififi ntu fibiri efilelenga ukutile charo chesu chingaya pantanshi na kuchirisha we say local economy is a key kubuyandanshi bwa kino chalo. Land is our solution. Land is our solution. We need to control our natural resources. We need to control our natural resources because land eyo tulelanda po ifenga ba leadership movement na ngo tulanda po insta tulelanda okutira umwina Zambia onse afuile akwata impanga ne impanga ili akwata umwina Zambia ifo ba leadership movement when we are given a chance ya mu 2026 tufile tu amono kwe bati abena Zambia bonse out there na abakwata apa kuikala na abakwata ama title deeds bapelwa ama title deeds pantunga twasenda ama title deeds ninshiriena ero twala akwata ubuntungwa twala shiningishiwo kutila we are now Zambians, we are real Zambians because as at now abena Zambia abakwete access ya kupoka ama title deeds bantu abanono sana bantu abanono sana lelo nga chakutila ifo ba leadership movement twabombera pamone misepela out there na kuchirisha misepelo tulebombera naye na pamo ba youth out there abo abalepita mu buchushu tulepita mu ndakai tulefo okutwa umana akapina beno kutira mu 2026 twachinja government bakutira ba youth abasambirira n'abashasambirira batola mu ulubali in the governance of the leadership movement.
But Bakashinga, others argue that imwepamonga ba leadership movement, it's very easy for you to say mukashita make sure mwina Zambia onse akwata ma title deeds and what have you. But how are you going to ensure that that is possible looking at the population of Zambia and the fact that they feel like ngamlimo opposition, you speak very well, but once voted into power, it's a whole different story.
Yeah, but given if our leadership movement, even last time, tulalande finsta we are not really politicians, but we are reformers. Before akachinja bafinto, before ba leadership movement. So ba politician ngashako that there is a politician awabale bepo bufi. If we ba leadership movement, we are reformers. Ba kachinja bafinto panto. Tulelanda okutira ababena Zambia aba kwali ba tulelanda abantu abekere payo tulelanda ama traditional land, ama customary land, nama government land or state land. Ayo tulelanda po, but we are saying bambiti batile shimpanga shimo tetu mwina Zambia po kama title deeds kubali mumishina and so on. But we are saying abantu abali in rural areas, those people are in rural areas, bali chitadi market mpanga shabo. Because mulamu mishomo bale kala rural areas, they have got mwali ama committees, especially I can say muri ba chief mwaba ma headmans, bali ama headmans bali kwata ama committees. Yali ama committees yale kala, those committees bali kala nga bali kala, then bali chitadi market mpanga shabo ukuchita avoid ama confusions in that particular village. To say imwe you will be working on this land, imwe land yenu as a family it's this one, bali akana ama portions so that ama confusions tamuli mulya mumishi. Fide fyakale fyakutila abantu bale ikalakale pampa nga wasanga abantu pambo kufuma maso tipashani pambo fida fyali pwanda kaiba given mumishi abantu ndaka ibali chitadi market abele. So we are saying as if our leadership movement, once we come in 2026 tulelanda okutira shirashine mpangesho abantu bekelepo bayakana mumishishirya fidefima colonial rules fidya ifyakale ifya mu 1964 fidya tufire twafichitali visit twafifumya hapo fimo pakutila umwina Zambia apo ekele akwata access iya kupoka ama title deeds ilo twapera abantu ama title deeds ngefe basenda ama voters card. Basenda ama voters card, they don't pay anything, they don't, it doesn't take time ukuyasenda omuntu ama title deeds, I mean ama NRC nangwe ama voters card, they just simply go and get ama title deeds. So effort tulefwa na papeni wa leadership movement ilo tuwa forming a government in 2026 tuwapela abantu ama title deeds hapo bekele. Be it in traditional land, customary land or government land.
Right.
Umuntu epo ekele afuile apelwa ama title deeds.
Right. Mr. Kashinga, let's talk about your view as leadership movement on Zambia's economy currently, be it you know, the performance of the agriculture sector, the mining sector, and the energy sector generally. Muremona at these sectors, how are they performing currently under the UPND?
If we, as a leadership movement, the performance of the economy, it's totally bad. It's unacceptable because the country is not producing anything at the moment. That we can point at. That can even guarantee our Zambian people to say maybe the high cost of living is going to reduce. Nothing. Pantu tulelanda okutila. Ilelo abena Zambia tulepita mu buchushi. Pamulandu na ma promises ngefu tulelanda aya ba politician bale tulaya okutila mukwaituka chitefi tukabwesha omufundo tukachitai create employment. We are going to create employment to our youth. We are going to do this to our Zambian people and so on. If you want to tulefimono okutila file chitika inchito tulemo nafyo okutila bakafundisha quite okay baingira kwenchito ama abakuye othiyebe kwete nchito but abashira ingire nchito padilelo ama departments yenge otulelanda kuli ama engineers kuli ama accountants abachita account kuli abantu abengi ama departments nama lawyers nabo bene balefwa enchito tatulamona poko bachita advertise okutila tulengisha ama accountants nangushani abantu bamusango. So tulelanda okutila ilelo agricultural sector bali chita politicize because nga mwalolesha munche ndeshingi bashima farm if tulelanda imi fertilizer tamuli tabapokera emifundo so tabalima bashibulimi abengi munche ndio mungi bashibulimi tabalima iyo tabapokera omufundo 2 years down the line 2 years plus 6 months I can say ba UPND ibalipo mpawa ibaikalapo mpawe bashima famu tabalapoka po mufundo bwino wakutila balima wakutila limbi ichipowe muri kino cyaro chipwe umufundo balepoka mu mameda munchende shimo umufundo balepoka mu buckets they were getting fertilizer mu buckets in medas in some cooperatives. If you ask mu cooperatives ayengyo tuishive balepoka fertilizer 1 bag or 2 bags abashukire nomba twalaisa kwatesha bumper harvest elio tulemono kutira bashibuli myabengi tabalima but munchende shimo natumono kuti mfula nayiroka fe bwino andichiri ileroka natkwata ama provinces ayo mfula ileroka kwali maybe kuma northern province Luapula Muchinga tulemono mfula ileroka but bashibuli mitabali mokulingana ngefe bafuire okulima abalelima bambi kino tuleranda bali maso ya binzi bambi balelima binzi fertilizer tabakwata and if tuleranda pano efishinka bashibuli myabali munchende pisana tabalima bwino imifundo tabapokere bwino fertilizer ero iyi fertilizer tuleranda po nga paki ya fertilizer ilia ila yana tuleranda pali fertilizer pabako na seed 10 kg of maize pabako na legume seeds aya legume seeds these legume seeds aya tuleranda in some other cooperatives they were receiving legume seeds either in soybeans, groundnuts or sunflower mu January ero balepuka ishimbuto eshi lomba balali mashani mu January ishimbuto bale bapela late so if you think of tuleranda poko bati if our leadership movement ukupitira muri ba Dr. Richard Sirumbe ba president besu balefu aba farmer baperwa fertilizer on time
right
ba farmer baperwa ama seeds on time if you of tuleranda po ifwe as ba leadership movement so state of the economy iyo tuleranda po elelo ile tulepita mu chipowe cha musango there is no enough maize in our country twalimwe kuti ba UPND inyanje esho twasunga isho ashere ngechalo isho ashire government yafumine kwe they exported the maize twalimo na ba minister balerando ko that they are not going to stop exporting maize and meal meal to some other countries and for sure bali chita export so panopo tuleranda if yakulya muri kino kyalo tatukwete bwino ubunga bana mayo baleshito ubunga tuleshito ubunga pali 300 plus in some parts of the country they are buying a bag of meal wati 400 kwacha 400 plus which is very expensive because bana market besu mumu balestisha moncho muleza nga bale komboka finovo tuleranda umuntu tashitisha nangu chimo bana market balile ko kwera amabasi
right
bachiri balenda na molu kufuma kuma market ukubwerereko beka
bakashinga
tuleranda
Parifense Femwalondolo, currently the country is undergoing this drought, this dry spell, and we heard the president declare it a national disaster. Obviously, most parts of the country will be hunger-stricken. As leadership movement, what do you think are the solutions? We've heard the opposition political party leaders and members talk about how the UPND should have followed DFIA Land Labour Meteorological Department to say, as a country, we might undergo a dry spell or El Nino weather. But Pamangala leadership movement, what solutions do you have to bring forward so that going forward as a country, we are not badly hit with this dry spell or drought?
If our leadership movement were given, do you want to advise even government ili pwei? Tuwalerando, ilinga tuwaleranda pama state farms. Apa, efo tulandila ifula leadership movement ukwe watu, once we form government, we are going to create ama state farms. And these state farms, yakaba in all 10 provinces, in all districts. Tufuile tuwa monokutila, mma district, mwaba ama state farms na ama state farms aya ilio yakala running mana ba ZNS ilio ba ZNS bambo okuranninga these state farms that we are saying tulelanda okutira during kukaba winter ulusuba ulusuba na mayinza yonse time ya ni throughout the year tufi ba ZNS bafuire ukulachita grow amataba n'imbuto shimbisha shala ukubomvya ama irrigation yero kutakuli mfula nga kuli mfula twambo ukulimile mfula ba youth yefu tulera ndokwe bati abashasambirira n'abasambirira out there bafuire bayingire shanchito muri ba mu government ukupitira muri ba ZNS abakala chitarani ayama state farms bonza basambirira because it doesn't take someone ukulanda ekisungu pakuti fyalime abula akaluka swalime nangu abu ekate plow lo ya ngombe ilya plow ambyo kulima ne ngombe pule koma afunye ekisungu paka nolo tutile so ingire nchito mu government echo tulebere misepero kutira mwe misepera bonze out there mwe ba youth banensu isentuma ni akapi to support leadership movement pakwe bati ba leadership movement baisabula imisepera bonza abasambirira n'abashasambirira either you have a grade 12 certificate or you don't have a grade 12 certificate you are going to participate muri governance ya ba leadership movement pantu bazede nesaba bakalala ninye vintu vya pusana mukaba kwe vya welding ifya plumbing aba bricklayer na fimbi vya shala aba chitafu ya carpentry tailoring bonse bakaba muri amwine so tulera ndokutira ba leadership movement ili kuri dry spell bale chita declare as national disaster tulera ndokutira ifiba government bali ngire taking this into consideration ukubombera pamona ba meteorological department there na ba weather focus babombera chapa mu bwangu n'okukita alert bashibuli myukubeba okutira munchende mumu mulemoneko kuti mfula ikabe yashupa so benzo funika kuti at least by this time ndo tulelanda ninshi tabala byala mataba shabo imbuto shalikana they could have taken this into consideration nokutwala if ibombere ififwa ikwefiringa if ama irrigations ukutwala munchende monsomu ukupela bashibulimi so that didia ama dry spell yalesa mukuisange ifi they could have switched off now kuma ngabali chitireke switch on now kuma nani kuma kufya irrigation fino tulelanda amatabanga tayona ike so yali amatabeyo bali mabafama yonse yali nomba pana yona ika ero nomba government yayingira mo nomba kutira twambe ukulima amataba twambe okupera bananya it's too late and in fact drought tulelanda pwei government naambo kulomba kale ifyakulya kufyalo fimbi ifyakulya tulelanda pwe ifyona ikete ifyakulya this year tulelanda iyo government kunu moko yali sungiri amataba government like if tulelanda nga kuli ama state farms government can even produce inyanje eshingisha kutira limbi 3 years nanguta kuli infula kuli ama droughts nga tulepitamo lelo kuti twabula yalya shirenyanje nokulalya ukwabula obwafya buli bonze so ifwe twabamu bwafya kale immediately lyabashitisha yali amataba eyo twalebeba okutira mu shitisha amataba ali mu strategic reserves
right
ero twali mu bwafya
right.
So drought tulimwe ikeze yalingire rombo kutuchita affect untanshi kulya tuleya kulya notyapa.
Okay, right. Vakashinga, allow me to open our phone line this evening so that our viewers can get involved in the conversation this evening. Dear viewer, you're calling us on 077-0813728. This evening on the program, we are hosting Leadership Movement Lusaka Mobilization Chairperson, Mr. Edward Kashinga. You can call us on that number that is being displayed on your screen right now, or you can go to our Facebook page. It's Millennium TV Zambia, and be part of the conversation this evening. 07708137228 is the number that's displayed on your screen that you can get in touch with us on. Vakashinga, before we can pick our first thought, of course, let's also talk about the mining sector, since we're discussing issues to do with the economy, because we know that the mining sector is very key when it comes to accelerating the growth of the economy in our country. Pamonga wa Leadership Movement, how do you think we have fared, in the mining sector, and where can we improve as a country?
Thank you very much. If we have a leadership movement, okupitira muri ba president wesu ba Dr. Richard Sirumbe tulelanda okweba ati after 60 years of independence we cannot fail to learn our own minds. Ifwe no anda tulelanda nga ba leadership movement ukutira tufuire ukwisa mukulaninga ifwe nga bena Zambia ama minds aya eyo tulelanda yafuire aba muminwe yabena Zambia abena Zambia bafuire bakita take up the law ya kulaninga ayama minds aya noti ukubula ama minds ukuyapera kuma so called investors eba fuire fyo kulalaninga they have the capacity to learn these minds. As Zambians we have no capacity to learn our own minds after 60 years of independence. Ero nishiratu kwa tama engineers bani owo tuletu as a country vale tumwamuko ya mkuu stada ifya ku stada kulya babwera we are still saying we cannot learn our own minds and yet we see people abale chitashani abale imba amabwe aya pusana sujilite manganese lithium gold emerald and so on ukubomfya pick and shovel no kwikatola lebe katokutira they illegal miners so to fire aba youth ifwe bonse ba youth out there abasambirira nabashasambirira ifo tulanda nga ba leadership movement ukutira we are going to get what we are going to open we are going to create ama strategy ama mineral reserves agents ama mineral reserves agents aya eyo tukachita creative nga ba leadership movement once we form government ba youth bonse abaleshtisha abalekwa abalemba mabukulya ukubonja ama pick and shovel bakalaisa mukushtisha kuma mineral reserves agency yali amaboyo balekwata government yabashita ngefitulera ndokutikuli FRA na government ofo ikala abashita yali ama mineral reserves agency bakalashita yali ama we government yashita bonse bali abalimba ba youth amabo balimba baleleta ku government yashita nga yashita government yabapele mpya baya muku impya shirya shambo kwafuirisha ko mu business o balechita namu no kwafuirisha ko ubwikash bwaba youth abo abalechula palilelo then government kakwata nomba amaka aya kuchitisha export yali ama minerals kufyalo fimbero twachitisha export yali ama minerals kufyalo fimbero as a government ama dollars muri kino cyalo cyesu ninshi yale ingira yama dollars yale ingira muri kino cyalo cyesu bagive nishito amana no kutira performance yakwacha yamba ukuba bwino
right
eko tulelanda so ama mines ile lo tulelanda tekubula nomba ama tax holidays tax breaks ukupera kuma foreigners eba amba nomba ukuchita benefit more the government is losing more money ukuchira muri kino cyalo cyesu ukupitira mu mines yali bantu yali ama tax breaks tax holidays bapera kuma foreigners those foreigners they are not paying much ku cyalo cyesu cya Zambia.
Right, Bakashinga, I'll stop you at that so that we accommodate our first set of calls this evening. Hello caller, your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Alice Mumba.
Wamumba mletu mina kuisa.
Kumanga.
Kwa Wamumba.
Yo minteo mfobanje panoza. Yo kulika kuisha wawaji kuisa kwa FRA.
Atifia kushitisha nchi?
Kuisha mambo shanjana kuisha kwa FRA shanjana kwa lenda hapo tena kwa panoza.
Gaba Bakashinga namba kwatira ko question ili wose.
Ndelanda mukwayi kutireka nimba chite clarify gwino chirelanda okushitisha amabwe ku FRA lero tulelanda okutira leadership movement once to forming a government in 2026 we are saying tulinokupanga ama mineral reserves agents yama mineral reserves agents ayo aba youth out there bakalaisa mukushitishako ama mineral zeyo bakwetenge fitutwala amatabo kwa mukushitisha ku FRA
Mabo mfaba Mumba ati bale bomfere mkwai
I'm saying
okay, Mr. Kashinga, you respond to Ramumba later. Let's accommodate 3 more calls in this set. So, Mr. Mumba, I'll ask you to go back to your TV set. Mr. Kashinga will respond to the question in. Chamfika mkwai. Okay, na babwekele ku TV abo mkwai bala basuka Bakashinga. Right, Mr. Kashinga will be able to respond to your query this evening, but we need to pick 3 more calls in this set. 07708 13728. That's the number that gets you through. Hello, you're through to the program. Your name?
Zulu ASAP, Eastern Province, Kasenengwa, Mazimari.
Yes, Mr. Zulu.
Tato mabwino mwacho mabwanji wa Zulu.
Njala chape kuno kuchipata.
Ya, izatipa ya njala iwa Zulu ilekani cheti.
I think in Vanzeru kwa mbili. Abacha vile matapoine, President ngati mwita makampeni ona mu photocols, bati mkabwera hapo. Vivu utavuti. Mchacha mele chikitika, nicho mpando. Umaruwanisha vantu ora bwaji. Ndateni tuwane wa President wasu. Zimena narongeza. Ile mzamba kutia katatu pepe. Bati lero vantu, lanji ni pleti. Ulipe kutia katatu. Unga weze kamba 50 kwacha. Unga upeze ka 400 chakuti. Uno kuchipata vantu hakuli ya uzu. Zita mbila pa Prime TV. Vantu ugonera vintete, kugwira vintete, noyamba kutia. Bati boma yuyangana, nota ndizo ili yose, utipange mamizi, aletekora mamirisima, mkuhoti vantu okotandizika maririsi. PF inasia mirisi ya mbili. Bati huita declare njara. Why kuita declare kuti romba tia mbega ya mirisi la iwe siya wa PF kuti mwe vantu muyambe kulia muyambe kulako kuno matumba vame siya vadoita declare njara. Muta ntauzanyi ngati mwawera pampando takulemba ni nchito gwilirani nchito vantu mwachilungamo mwokwanirisira vantu kunavudika kuchipata even kwa mene kurusaka timabwera kuli 00 vantu ngakaya.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Zulu. Thank you so much. We pick 3 more in this set before Mr. Kashinga can respond. This evening, we are hosting Leadership Movement Lusaka Province Chairperson for Mobilization, Mr. Edward Kashinga. Hello, good evening, Wachilufya. You're welcome to the program. Thank you so much. Go ahead with your contribution.
Aofe wino mkawe walishani Wachilufya. Ndife wino mkawe walishani Wachilufya.
Ndefo kuipisha kwa mnepisha vile nangu ya tatu. Ndamwaisa mpawa na imwe. Abantu wakola tantamino hunga kwa wakazi yotoke mkola tantamino hunga. Kwa jifuwa tulebale tantamina lero. Kumatero mula mchikwa nifo kuipana abantu. Mula mse wa hunga. Eso chikabana imwenga maisa mpawa president wetu. So, eso ndefo kulomba siya kuivati. Wakalamba tekinishe nukulandira kwa icharo. Abantu walechula bakalamba abantu tabakwete beke kwatiri mafole na feva tuzambia itirisha nukulanda kulandira kwecharo toyangufa program.
Thank you, Wachilufya. Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. We picked 2 last calls in this set before we allow Mr. Kashinga to respond. We picked two more calls in this set. 07708 13728. The number is right there at the bottom of your screen. You can also go to our Facebook page. It's Millennium TV Zambia, and be a part of the conversation this evening. We are hosting Mr. Edward Kashinga. He is Leadership Movement Lusaka Chairperson for Mobilization. 07708 13728 is the number that gets you through. And please ensure that you reduce the volume on your TV when you come through so that we do not get that terrible feedback. Hello, good evening. You're through to the program.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Emmanuel. Never mind the language. My English no.
Achalwa Emmanuel. Question in the answer Kashinga. Do you have any question for him?
Question about English
Nande chibemba wakashinga nishitamule umfa program ba Emmanuel West. Bana nandira mu chibemba bakashinga nishitamule kutsikira.
Bakashinga.
Ni bakashinga.
Bakashinga no mamanja arangwa zimanye tweka konja konja chibemba gai.
Atumeka wabonke chitundushi. Right. Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's see if we can squeeze in another one this evening before Mr. Emmanuel Kashinga can respond. Before Mr. Edward Kashinga, I beg your pardon, can respond. Hello, good evening. You're through to the program. Your name and where you're calling us from. Please reduce the volume. Twabomba febuno mkwayishina neko baletumina. Yes, Mr. Sichone, please go ahead. We pick another one in this set. 0770813728. We are hosting Mr. Edward Kashinga. He is Leadership Movement Lusaka Province Chairperson for Mobilization. You can call us on that number, or you can go to our Facebook page. It's Millennium TV Zambia. We're streaming this program live, and you can leave a comment there. Hello, good evening. Washenko volume mayo. Hello. Na washa kwa volume TV mkoi. Ishina neko bale tumina.
Ni kumaken, this is Uncle B.
Yes, we Uncle B.
Hapa for walera na tushumfa. Kido weno nevo follow dabumfa sana wa presidents wa.
Mkoi.
So
okay, mwana tuma message kuri ine namba mkoi twalaba pera program nga yapo.
Okay. Andi watwalirire kino kwezandira kwa balanda. Alisho akuncharo choto abamu tunatupa. Kristo twalio kushita kwa encourage abantu.
Twatasha ba Uncle B.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Mr. Kashinga, over to you. I'll give you a chance to respond to those few calls, and we'll open our phone line again after you respond.
Bangopi kumakeni mkaitwala senda namba eno fini mwalanda twatotera sana elio chawa mapantu mula umfwa kufyo tulelanda inshita nga ba leadership movement. Then ba Sichone baku John Lengi nalachita combine na bachilufya abachituma babali kumatelo abalelanda pa abantu ukuchinja ba politician nga bayisa mupawa elio balanda pono kutira abantu baleta ntamino obunga, and for sure Basichone abana bachilufya kumatelo tabalebepa iyo Basichone abali ku John Lenge olo bachilufya abali kumatelo tabalebepa because people are lining up for meal. Tumelanda mulusaka umuni mulusaka okumatelo oko they are making up ama lines pakutira vyo muntu achite access ubunga not na kumatelo kweka even pa downtown kusanga abantu pali line iya kutira vyo bana mayo pakuti vyashite vye saka vye abunga vye litine ku Livingston uko nuwesi konze baleta ntamino obunga ichichi musango tutulera ndoko bati abantu tete baleta ntamino obunga iyo muri kino kyalo kyesu emo twakwatale sala tupele mfula ali tupela no mushidi na menshi bwino. How can we subject our people mukula atanta mino bunga nomba if umusango oyo pamula ndiro kwe batu bunga bwa Eagles meeting obubwa ZNS teti which they sustain abantu iyo eto tulela ndapo pantu munje ndeshimo ubunga tabufika tababu mona napo tababu ishibana po iyo even kumanso okutwale mvu abantu balera ndokutira we don't even know iyo kutira nga buperera kuyisanga bwaba kuyisa kuma mungu ikonjo kulewa ya complaining ukutira tabufika obobungo bwa ZNS pantu bubunga bya mu shop lights mu shoppings ma pick and pays even if you can check mulusaka muno mwine muma pick and pay ama shop lights ama shoppings ubunga tamuli bwa ZNS tamuli completely you go around amapika ndipe mumo umulesanga obubunga tamuli. So abantu bungo balefuru okushita isaka lya bunga new Dawn government iri pwelero tulelanda lilo bali mu opposition. They were saying the president is on record, he was saying ubunga abantu tete baleshito ubunga 150 kwacha na budula sana, but today abantu balefuru okulya 3 meals. Abantu balireko okulya breakfast. Tete abantu bali breakfast. Bana mayo po bekere. Bashitate po bekere. Imitwe shalikaba. Kula tontonga nyafe bushesaka lya bunga panga ndipo bali abantu 8. Ubunga bale lya masaka ya bunga yanga per month. Bala kwanisha shani. Ama business yali onaika. Ama business abantu yali onaika completely. Indala mu circulation tamwa ababwino. So echo tulelanda pwechi ifi efota tulefwaye chimuzango okutila ichakonkanyapo ichakutila bana mayo bala pantu umuntu ochafu ubuyandanshi bonse efo tulelanda ifwazi ba leadership movement ukupitira muri ba president wesu wa Dr. Richard Sirumbe bwayimina pachakulya development yonse for this country to develop niri abantu bala ikuta
right
niri abantu balerya ifo pakuti twikale kunoko tulelanda ni pamula nokuti nukwata energy ngatawulire you can't speak. So development cannot be seen muri kino kyalo as long as abantu tabalirya. Oma abantu nga balalya balayi kutabwino na bazulu ko ku Eastern Province na bene bakiranda ni nsala bonse balelanda abantu kulya ku Eastern Province bambo kulalya ifuta balingire kulya. Baletira bushe state batwalye ko government itwale ko relief food kulya. Uko afuirisha kwa abantu abaletula ku Eastern Province kulya. Ubunga ku Eastern Province balesta 490 kwacha. 480 kwacha. Bala kwanisha shani abantu kulya.
Mr. Kashinga, allow me to pick my last set of calls this evening before we close our phone line. Hello, good evening. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to ask this
Mr. Kashinga Edward from the Leadership Movement. He's a chairperson for mobilization in Lusaka.
Good evening, Mr. Kashinga Edward.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much. One thing I like about you and those that have appeared there from your party is your consistency. You are very, very consistent on issues of production and food. It is very important that as we approach the 2026, you convince our voters. I've talked about being consistent. I can tell you that you have been consistent, and I give you credit for that. You have not changed from one topic to another, but we have continually talked about production, we have continually talked about how people must manage or live in a manner that is seen as Zambians living well. That is very, very, very important. But I would also ask you to grow your party, go in the countryside, mobilize people, mobilize people so that they get your message clear, so that you have actually other people supporting you. Otherwise, your policy actually is something that I highly appreciate. And I think you just continue on that trajectory.
Thank you, senior citizen.
That I would want to find out from you is, Mr. Kashinga or Kashinga.
Kashinga.
Okay. Would I be right if I say that have you joined UCA, or you are still thinking, or you have a different idea about UCA? Or the part is a family situation. UCA is part of us. So I'm just trying to find out from you. Will you, if you haven't, will you in future just do that? Thank you very much.
Thank you, senior citizen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mangala, there for coming through. Let's squeeze in a few more calls before Mr. Kashinga can respond. 07708137280 is the number that gets you through. Hello, you're through to the program. Your name? Hello, good evening. Yes, sir. Your name and where are you calling us from? Tulifewina mkwaishi na neko wale tumina.
Onebo chama, ngetumina kundola.
Yes, wa chama.
Mkwai, ndilo kukosa mpali yoni kwa.
Mkwai.
Awa bosi walela ndafe bwino nomba tebalasika kusana
Emkoi. Wapwisha. Right, thank you so much for coming through. We've squeezed in 3 last calls, then we close our phone line this evening. 0770813728. That's the number that gets you through. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Now, what's your volume TV Mkoi?
Hello?
Good evening, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from. Please reduce the volume on your TV. Please ensure that you reduce the volume on your TV when you come through so that we do not get terrible feedback. 0770813728. Hello, good evening. Your name and where you're calling us from. Hello.
Hello, Bonzi.
Bwino bwanje atwanda nzina wa tumila kuti.
Atoma.
Ba Edward Kashinga ba ku leadership movement Mkoi. Mkoi? Leadership movement. The party is called Leadership Movement. Mkoi. Hello? Hello? Your line is very bad, sir. If you can call us back on 0770813728. This evening on the program, we are hosting Leadership Movement Lusaka Province Chairperson for Mobilization, Mr. Edward Kashinga. Please call us back on that number that's displayed at the bottom of your screen. Hello, good evening.
Madam.
Your name, sir, and where you're calling us from?
Kinsari.
Your name?
Kinsari.
Atwana nishna kuchinsa adi uko Mkoi?
Max Mwanza.
Basi Mwanza, please go ahead.
Yes. Madam.
Mkoi.
Kinsari, Max Mwanza.
Basi Mwanza, weshani ko volume.
Okay, na weshako. Madam.
Mkoi.
Ibindi vile kika chakwe watetu wanaenda pitunduru. Wamulina bena wao paposa wamulina bena pawera ba pintu kaka kumulira ndapo kanje bekraiza bali chero kutupera ero tu insala ina ingira mukinsala emkwa nga kwali kuikatana uno weno ke bantu ngiti aba pantanzi abantu emkwa so nomba tapisho insala yeso twarakusha cyane mukinsala yango kumbi kucyaro pindi twarakusha cyane nawo byachwesa.
Right. Tuatasha Mkoi. We squeeze in 2 last calls, then we close. 0770813728. 2 last calls, then we close our phone line. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, ma'am. Your name and where you're calling us from? Mwachitawino wa Janet ukututumina komwe bana kashipa bushikubuno wa bana mayo twamfa bwino sana.
Mugwai kwena ndipo chako abane muri nabo.
Mkoi twatotera ba mayo ba Janet.
Mugwai kwena tata baranda titabasure chimo. Ba kwena file kuma mugana umyenu kwena file tukuma. Kwena ngati bwefe ba matero padia kwemi bamba. Efi abantu bunga bona obafune ba UPNG ati bale peba isisi abantu papa 37. Kulebe bipamba na uyo lujelo. Ulebwela fena intina wazi yaulesta kubungana ngurumo ngamleti vyabufi muke mimailo muke pamatelo bashopula pamatelo muka mone mibamba ile jitika wona muno muchalo muri insala ero muno muzala muri insala batendele fertilizer batu apele ingi kumya woko kuko tabalumbuloko kumya fertilizer apele inolo no mbensala uno mwaka mwandi tulefone insala mwanda kutulandire niko abantu era tiota mufikire bakulanda na mufikapo pakuti mulanda na yebo bene pakuti musangulandire chalo kushina mufikapo lero mbakufe mwandi uli wasoke mina bonango nishani tukavota tulefo mutende mu Zambia tulefo mutende mu Zambia nenzana ichilamo aku tulandire niko mwandi fo pashi bakulanda mwe tulandira ko mwandi insala ya chilamo Give na totela mwandi ni mwazefefe bwino.
Twasefya buno wa Janet twatotela sana mpaka tutuminako.
Naye Natasha sana. Nawe namuoneka bwino ni popopo.
Thank you so much for Janet.
Okay.
All right, let's pick one last call before we close our phone line this evening. 07708-13728. Hello, good evening. Your name and where you're calling us from? Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from?
John Kunde.
Yes, we're John.
Ekendera ndako ni abantu abaleta hapo eza kwa campaigning mama ikukunuma kutekwa leo ndati matabarishikisha leo ndati bintu washire mpawa sasangira mataba eko yadi nomba batire fa kureka mataba kubantu taba parent ya bino mataba yari pankongole nomba bino mataba refa indalama nomba sasanga timakofa tamwadi nangushi secho wa ushikisha mataba pakwa tabapire abantu bali nyina mataba yali kugira ati umuntu ushari mine ayikutena uri ari marechula secho washikisha mataba kwa taoshempya kubere ba mataba ero kushikisha mataba te ibendere ta baweza bapira farisa shaba mataba kumalao ando asiria so kushikisha te utati nawe kabambira kushikisha mataba so since simo mleranda kulanda simo ya kwa temule tukusha ero ngani sine mleranda na ngwe mkesepo tapari chata fyaka kinga pesi kakinga kosheni abantu ati bakose tukati turi kwa tira chakulia bapeni my dear kwa ati kina mundu afiri aisho ati atona station kibo sikungo wapse sikuru waika te kuna kapepa kuti waingira nchito tetu ingira nchito so fire nchito so abari ule mwana tifano ndetu wa mtauni what should I do wafairisha kancha kwa ati hapa kuti ndeisha mwana mwini so ukwate amane kwa ati mule pera fwe bantu tulechula ishese kwa ati tukwate mufya kule tuleria pari noshita natusumina chachi na chakule na sinina mitengo na iya sana nomba ichirenga nichi uko twafuma kose muri bakaunda mtengo yali parishani ile na vyati na iko twafyali kwa tule kula nena mtengo ile kula na kubai saimwe ikakula bantu tamakata ina mataka kuja amba yake na mweka chimoya palanpa kajipuna mama
Twatotela wa John.
Nice.
Thank you so much. That's our last caller for this evening, but thank you so much to everybody that called through. We value your viewership and participation on the program. Mbakashinga, you can respond to that set of calls before we close.
Natotela ba given natotela na kuliba kuma callers bonse ero nambo kuchita respond na lambira fe in fact na ba John bene abo basharikisho kutuma ba kukitwe ba John ngamule umfwa nshachiteza na respond kuli bena pamusangono kutira balelanda kutira yo UPND echo yashitishisha amataba nipamula no kutira government yafumineko kulya kunuma yalesenda amataba kubantu pankongole eliyo tabale bafolesha bantu so echo bayishire shitishari amataba fishing kanshi ba John bakwete ibya kutira iyo ba PF balesenda throughout muri 7 years yonse ilya balesenda amataba kubantu ama farmers balefola tekutira tabale fola bale fola na ifo twali muri kino cyalo cha Zambia tekutira 7 years nangu 10 years yali mo ba nangu ntine maybe from 2019 or 2018 up to 2021 ba PF tabale folesha ma pharmacy indala masha mataba shintu bale chita supply kulya bufi bale bepa ba John to chena chite titubasuminisha no kubasuminisha iyo eliyo ba UPND bintu bale shitisha mataba tabalera ndo kutira iyo twala shitisha mataba pamusango no kutira ba PF bali shire nkongole esho tulefa tulipile nomba tushitishe fine fyakulya futi tulipile. The government could have come up na resources yambi bachita mobilize as a government tabekete kumataba yali iyo nga bali kongwele ba PF kwa itoke nga nabo kwa tefishinga ba John bali kongwele yali amataba ba PF nga bali chitira source indalama from somewhere else isha kupera ba farmer not ukubula amataba ene basendere kuli ba farmer ayalera nda ba John nga basendere from ba farmer pankongole then na bena babula ene amataba bayashitisha ku Kongo nga ni ku Tanzania nga ni kuisa ero bagweshe nkongole awe tefyo chabe fyo iyo ninchi babula nomba ukuchita bachita subject abantu besu ichalo chonze kunzale abantu balepita monatu mwana ba Janet bonse bali kuzinga lume balera nderi ashirimo line lyansala especially kumatero kwatuma bakola about 2 callers kuli ebo abana mayo baleta ntami anti okukafuira omuntu palaini pamulandu ekyakuli obungobu ife era ndaba batata ba John bakukitwoko if we ba leadership movement not kwata solutions we have solutions na ama solutions otulelanda pano yama state farms okutulelanda that once we form government in 2026 through by Dr. Richard Sirumeba president we are going to create ama state farms, and when we create these state farms tukashiningisha okwela ati ba youth bonze out there bayiposa mu bulimi obutulelanda ubwanyanje soybeans, sunflower, nothing before shala. So that insala yaba reduced because government na yena ninshiyayibimba mu bulimi. So that bali ama farmers out there dijabaleli mama tawa yabo kule because farming is a business. Kuti they can even decide because we can give a target kuli ba zeden yeso kutila you are going to produce this metric tons of maize maybe 2 million or so to say. Then baleba farmer badia natusho kuti we are food secure because natukwate fyakuli efingi ba farmer badia bayishibe efe bale spenda mu mabala yabo. They can decide where to sell their maize. If it is to export, if it is to sell kuli ba food reserve agents, Zambia Food Reserve Agency abamuno. Chirife bwino noti kutira yo government ta produce ichatekele muri ba farmer nemfula takuli. Ero yachetekera muri ba farmer abalesenda fertilizer pambale abalesenda fertilizer muma medokutira eba raisa adishe chalo. It's not possible. Meaning even next year ba ichalo tulimo kuchula pamusangono kwela tatukwete ifyakuli efifikirepo ero munjendo mu abantu bale irishanya bana mawo bale irishanya ifutwelanda ifo twikala mu makomboni mutwikala omu ifyakuli atamuli bana mayo amayanda y'abantu bale chula. So government ngala ndo abantu ngabalila ifibalelila nga umulale chitisho bubunga bwazedeni yesumu muri chikwela ichakutira pakuti femuntu asendera inyesaka lyabunga ninkondo ninchito. So abantu bonse tulemono kutira echo balera ndapo ninsala even kuchinsa ali balera nda basimwanza ninsala balera ndokola tukuchinsa ali kulinsala ya chine elo ne mifundo tabatwele panchita elo tabale poke mifundo iya kwa na fertilizer efinto tulera ndapo efiyo. So tulera ndokutira ba leadership movement eba kwete solution na solution yo tulera ndapo ya production ba leadership movement nawo kata solution na solution tulera ndapo ya production because ifwe twayiminira pa bulimi tufuire twamono kutira agriculture yaba pantanshi agriculture teyakunyisha ama politics ba farmer balekeni ama cooperatives yalekeni aba ba cooperatives mulya kwali batulera ndokutira quick one tulera ndokutira aba ba cooperatives bapanga abantu yali mwaliba aba pepa kuma United aba pepa ku Seventh Day aba pepa ku Catholic. So chimo chine okutira muri ama cooperatives muri aba leadership movement muri aba UPND muri aba socialist party muri aba patriotic front bonse balya at the end of the day they are all Zambians bafuire bakita benefit kuli fisipo noti ukulavula uli omufundo ulya ukutira yo aba bachipanicha ifi aba bachipanicha kuti tabafuire okupoka fertilizer nangu tubafumyemo nangu tuchiteshani nga mwalole shama packs yo bale pela in this cooperatives aya muleza ngokwela ati number every year pe cooperative kula bama new members and so on but bale bula ma packs bale bapela same packs yo bale pela dintu ba member bali maybe 40 ba member na bafika kuli 60 or 70 they are still giving them the same packs bala akana shani fitulea nokuti mwalasa ngokuti nomba bambo kwa kana fertilizer muma meda bambo kwa kana fertilizer pambale. So ifitulea ndokutira ba leadership movement ile twapanga ayama state farms yakafuirisha ko tulepela na ba farmer fertilizer on time imbuto bale plana bwino bale bayi planina elo twapela ama title deeds yaliyo nachiralanda kuli kubantu kubekala chalo they can go into muma banks umuli monse muli kuti they can access ama loans because na bakwata ama collateral at the moment abena Zambia takweta ama collateral tebonze bakwate myotokesha kuti batwale as a collateral ku bank no kuya senda ali ama loans.
Mr. Kashinga, I'll ask you to give your closing remarks due to time so that we wind up.
Quick one, so I'm saying ifo bali amafarmers abalesen bali abantu as a chalo nga basenda abantu amakolatro twabapera ama title deeds same na ifitulera nama civil servants they just go mu bank no kuyasenda ama loans because inchito yabo iliyo bale bomba acts as a amakolatro ego tuwefana ba family bambi bali amulya basenda ama loans bapoka beneti basenda 300,000 kwacha bayashike mifundo and so on and no tukamuna kutila chalo chesu chaya pantanchi eko tulelanda for as leadership movement na mukulekeza nelanda kutila abena Zambia iseni tuwombere pamo na ba leadership movement because party ikwete akwata manifesto iyabuya ntanshi because ifo twayiminina pali production nokubula ama resources yoto akwata muri kino cyalo yaba mumino Yesu pakumona okutira icyalo chesu cyakitashani chaya pantanshi because iyo muri chipowe muno cyalo tapali development yoto ingachitapo point ati iyo abantu bengamona abantu kutira mona development didatuli abayikuta nama business Yesu oba yalaenda kuno bana mayo tabalestisha ma market bana bashitata tabalestisha mu market muri omo baleya nangu ifit tuntoto bakwete twatune tunono balebwela ukwabula okushitisha abantu balenda na molu pamula na ama transport aya kufumina fe mtown kula kumanje ndoko baleikala ife ndo tulelanda posoba you don't know balelanda abantu te kutira bonse nishi ifenga tulelanda panwati yo ni opposition the real opposition ni bantu bali outside abali there ama voters bali opposition abo bafuire banyu don't baya kuli bali abantu kubachitira explain if we are not really opposition but we opposition bantu bali aba voter eba opposition bwino eba fubulo kuteko kutwabika mu twa mpamaka twa mifumu yapo so even as at now ba new don government bafuye they have to go kuli bali abantu okubachitira explain if you baba ile icho bunga tatwabwesesha ni chakuti icho fertilizer tatwabwesha pali 250 ni chakuti icho dollar taabwera pa single digit twala indile ni chakuti icho fuel taishira pa tovu kwacha ni chakuti but Zambia up to now by kalafyo kwa bulokushi bapona nguchimo what is happening kula tufelomba ni PF yalinga PF abantu peti bomfwe vya msango yo iyo icho vya abantu balekana so ba youth mwemisepera banandi na bonse kulya mwe bali outside mwe bali kunsho ko bonse isentu bombere chapamo tumone kutira twabomba na leadership movement pakulenge chalo chesu kino chaya pantanshi tuilolesha pakutira yo uyu ni nani iseni tuwombere chapamo leadership movement kwete solution ipota twasunga ama solution Yesu no kwisa abomvero twa forming a government but we are here to give ama solutions even kuli government ilipo pakuti tuamuna kutira ichalo cha ikala bwino umwina Zambia ikala bwino.
Right, thank you so much Wakashinga for joining me on tonight's edition of Millennium Tonight.
Thank you so much.
Right, that's our show for tonight. I was hosting a leadership movement Lusaka chairperson for mobilization, Mr. Edward Kashinga. We were discussing Zambia's economy. Thank you so much to everybody that joined us. On behalf of my director, Mr. Chico Bota, you have a good night and enjoy the rest of your weekend. My name is Given Banda. Until next time, it's goodbye.